I've used the draw and place raster to put a base map, a scanned map. We have no idea of the scale of this drawing, but we want to trace around the perimeter and some of the entities within the map to form a vector map, a GardenCAD map that we can, or design that we can work with. So what's the best way about that? Well, in my view, I would go to the layer dialog box, and there are already some layer names here, but I'd create a new name, and it's currently called layer 1, so let's go into details and we'll call this our trace layer. I'd actually assign the color red to that layer because whatever I draw on that layer now will be red, so let's set trace layer as the current layer and we'll be able to see what we're drawing on top of the white background. We'd want to make sure that tracking's on, so that if I draw, say, a line, can you see, as long as the indicator shows, we can get a horizontal line, because clearly these lines through here will be horizontal. And you might also check that you can draw a horizontal line and then go down at a 45-degree angle, because it looks very much as though that line there is going to be a 45-degree angle. So we're getting ourselves in a position ready to draw. I'd be inclined to draw this with a polyline. So I'll zoom in now and I'll work with the outer zone. So I'll draw from there across to there, making sure that, and there we go, 45 degrees, come down through here 45 degrees, down through there, across to that point, down to here, and so on. I won't bore you with the details, I'll go on and complete that trace. Well, I've now finished tracing over the extremities of the building and the internals as well to show you what we've achieved. Let's go to layers and layer order, and we'll turn off layer 0 because that was the layer that we pasted the image on. So there you can see we have our base map. The next thing we need to consider, of course, is size, and our client has not given us any information at all about the scale of this scanned drawing. We'll make a guess by zooming in on a doorway. Now, most doorways are of the order of 720, 760, maybe 800 mil, but 760 in Australia is a standard size for a doorway. So let's measure, let's use the information toolbar, and we'll measure the distance. Let's zoom right in from what ought to be about the middle of the doorway across over here. So it's about, well, it's a very difficult measure, isn't it, to do, but it's going to be about 1.8. So if we swing to our calculator and we say that 760 millimeters is the average doorway, and we'll divide that by 1.8, we'll get the scale factor. And we're going to need a scale factor of about 420 or so. So we'll do that. So now it's a matter of scaling this drawing up. So let's right click and zoom extents so we can see the whole drawing. So we have to scale this drawing up by that factor to give us what we hope will be reasonable sizes. So it's modify and scale. We're going to select all objects. We'll scale everything. So we'll select the image map and the drawing, and we're asked for a base point. A safe base point is just to type 0, 0, and we wanted a scale factor of about 420. So now we right click and zoom extents. So now when we zoom in here and we say information and distance, how far is it in that doorway, 750, 760. So we've come as close as we can, given the fact that we have no information here, into getting an accurate measure. So we can turn the drawing off. So now here we are, we have a base map where we can start designing our rooftop garden. Now I have no idea of what's involved in here, and as I was tracing, you can see I made the odd error through here, certainly didn't square these up. But I leave that to the folks who are going to do this design to clean up. it would be relatively easy to draw a single line through here that is orthogonal, is straight. So there's a little, and another one on this side here too is required. So there's a little bit of cleanup needed in this drawing to get everything squared up. But I hope you'll agree that that's a fairly fast way to do a base map. We might just try, let's assume that this is going to be a garden bed area, we might just try our library and our plant selector, and we'll bring in a symbol and pop it in, and that is further confirmation that we've got things about right. That comes in at a canopy diameter of 1 metre. So that's a useful illustration of how you can use scanned base information to produce a working drawing. It's not perfectly accurate. You could go on site and measure, say, the length, the known length of one of these might well be air-conditioned ductwork, all sorts of things. I have no knowledge of what's there, but you could measure something that is known and then fine-tune your scaling